Hello and welcome to Reddit Tell All. Today we are going to be looking at r/relationship advice. If you do like this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and with that out the way, let's get on with the story. Partner 26 female of 7 years left me 28 male at the altar and now wants me to take her back. My head is at a million places right now, so excuse my incoherency. My girlfriend slash fiance slash ex-girlfriend had been dating since she was 19 and I was 21. We've been through everything together and basically grown up together. I've always known that when she really panics, she tends to run away from things. She used to randomly break up with me and try to dip when we were very young, but we talked it through and got better at that, and she hasn't done that for years now. Anyway, I proposed a year ago and it was hardly a surprise. We'd been discussing marriage for years. We both knew we'd be on board to do this after she finished her MBA and got a job in my city. Everything was perfect. The past year has been very hectic in planning a wedding since we're both from another country where grand weddings are the norm and we had to fly people out, etc. About 2 to 3 months ago, the nerves started to hit her and she tried to talk to me about it. I will acknowledge my faults here. She did try to bring it up to me that she was nervous and the whole ordeal of a grand wedding was stressing her out. Ideally, she would have wanted a small destination wedding with a big party afterwards, but due to both our families requesting a big wedding and inviting all of their friends, we succumbed. She was also nervous about the commitment of marriage, finances, and other things. All of this we had discussed before, but I guess she just needed reassurance. However, in hindsight, I realise now that every time she brought it up to me before, that she was anxious. I chalked it up to the normal cold feet people get and would just say it will be fine and brushed it off. I was also stressed with a lot of work to do before I took my long leave and planning and budgeting and all of that. We both make very good money, but this wedding was going out of our budget and we didn't want to take any money from our parents. All of it got pretty stressful for both of us. She seemed a little jittery the night before as well. I told her to calm down and just sleep. Mostly I was very excited to make her my wife, something I have been dreaming of since the day we started dating. She's the love of my life and it was still hard to believe she was choosing to marry me. I was the happiest man alive. On the day of the wedding, she dipped. She left me a note apologising and saying she couldn't do all of this and just ran. I don't even know where she went. All of it unfolded so quickly and it was almost like a movie. All our family members coming into my room while I was ready to walk out onto the altar, asking me where she was, etc. Pretty traumatic. And I ended up crying in front of all of my family and friends. Our parents handled the guests and all of it while I just went home, heartbroken. She wasn't at home. I spent the entire day calling and texting her and her phone was switched off. She walked in at night at 10 or 11 p.m. and just kept crying and apologising. I told her to just go to sleep and I need time to think about everything that happened. Now I'm turning to Reddit because I don't know what to do anymore. She has apologised multiple times and wants me back and says she's even ready to do the whole grand wedding again, and she regrets having run away in a momentary lapse of judgment. She knows she wants to be with me, but she just panicked and got cold feet. I can't imagine my life without her, but at the same time, my trust is broken. I don't understand why she couldn't just be more of an adult and tell me properly before the wedding, although she insists she tried to. I feel disrespected and just heartbroken and embarrassed that I had to go through all of that. I don't know if I can or should forgive her. What if she does this again and runs at some other important event, like she did on the most important day of my life? Any advice or suggestions on how to proceed, if I can continue with this relationship or if I should just cut my losses and move on? Thank you for reading this far. Edit for some clarification. There are some things I realise I should clarify or elaborate on based on the comments. Why she ran. I don't think it was the marriage bit. Getting married was not going to change a lot about our relationship anyway, and I know she was just as excited about getting married as I was. I should mention that while both our parents wanted a grand wedding, mine were way more insistent on it than hers. Her parents would have been happy with whatever choices she was happy with, even a court marriage. Mine insisted on a bigger wedding as they believed if we had a small one, it would make relatives and friends think we were poor. And she felt pressured to say yes because she wanted them to like her, and she knows how much I love my mum and didn't want me to have to choose. The financial bit. She makes much more money than me, and she funded at least 70 to 80% of the wedding expenses. She offered and was happy to do so. If she hadn't offered that, my parents would have had to step in and fund it, which she wasn't comfortable with. The financial stress of it was getting to both of us, but probably more to her than me. We've discussed finances in depth, and I have financially supported her when she was doing her MBA. And both of us are comfortable with the fact that she earns a lot more now and will contribute more to our expenses. It's all hitting me now that she ended up burning so much money on a wedding she didn't want, just to make sure my parents didn't dislike her. The history of running away. She used to break up and dip from the relationship in the initial 2 to 3 years of our relationship. And after working on it that time, we've really managed to get over it. She hasn't suggested breaking up or wanting to run away for the past 3 to 4 years at least. I don't know if I'll be able to trust her because when she gets anxious, she can't think about me like she didn't in this situation and didn't consider the humiliation I had to go through. But I do trust her to not run away when we have kids or at other difficult points in life. I'm not really sure. It's all just hard to process right now. Thank you all so much for your advice. I will be taking a few days away from her to think about all of it and then decide on the next steps. Although yes, therapy is a starting point for both of us individually at least. So what do you think about today's story? I can kind of relate to his fiance because I have a real bad anxiety when it comes to, I suppose, like public speaking or if all the focus is on me. When I got married, it was only a small wedding with just our close family, and even that really got my anxiety really high. I personally didn't want to go through with the wedding just based on that. I wanted to be married, but I didn't want the actual wedding day. I said to my husband that I would really prefer to just elope, but it was really important that his family were there on our special day, so I had to make a compromise. We just had a small wedding with close family, and again on the day it was really difficult for me. So if I had to do that in front of a big family wedding, from what they are talking about, I assume that they are Indian or have some kind of Asian background, as I used to work with someone who was planning their wedding the same time as me, and it sounds very similar to that. To me, having to do that in front of a big crowd of people would have got my anxiety up even more, and I'm really not sure that I could have done that. It was giving me almost panic attacks thinking of doing it in a small setting. I don't suffer from anxiety, I don't suffer from panic attacks or anything like that, never have, but thinking of having to do that in front of people even gave me anxiety in front of a small crowd of just family. So yeah, I really feel for the wife, because if you've got a fear, then it's hard. People just don't understand. But also what I think would have been the right thing for her to do is to speak to her partner. Her partner could have gave her some words of encouragement and relayed why they were doing this. The thing that got me through it was knowing that it was just this one moment for a couple of hours, and then once it's done, we can just get on with our lives, because we wanted to spend our lives together. I just didn't want the actual day to happen. So yeah, it's a really tough one, and I really feel for both the groom and the bride in this situation. They clearly love each other and they want to be with each other. They just, especially for her, she didn't want the actual day. Let me know in the comments what you think about OP's situation. Do you think that he should forgive his wife, and what do you think they should do moving forward? Do you think that they should just do a small wedding? If you did like this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and come and join me in the next one.